Ladies, listen to me. You are not here by accident. Your breath today is a reminder that heaven has something for you that no one can cancel, no storm can erase, and no enemy can block. When God is ready to shift you into destiny, He begins to stir things around you, and you can feel it in your spirit. If you've been asking, Lord, is it my time? This is your confirmation. You are standing on the edge of a new chapter, and here are 8 signs that you are about to step into the destiny that was designed just for you. For you feel uncomfortable in old places. What used to satisfy you no longer does. The conversations, the friendships, the habits, they no longer fit who you are becoming. That's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of growth. When a woman is about to step into destiny, God makes her restless in the wrong rooms so she can find the right one. 2, you are surrounded by unusual. Don't panic when the pressure increases. The moment you start aligning with purpose, hell notices. Resistance is proof that you are moving in the right direction. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and so is destiny. 3, you hear a louder voice within. Something inside you refuses to be quiet. You are drawn to prayer, drawn to clarity, drawn to answers. This inner voice is heaven's navigation system guiding you toward where you need to be. 4, you are letting go of dead weight. You've started saying no to what drains you and yes to what builds you. You are releasing what no longer serves your future: toxic relationships, limited thinking, and fear. This is pruning season. And pruning is always a sign of coming fruit. 5, you are willing to take risks. Destiny doesn't show up in your comfort zone. You are suddenly willing to do the thing you were afraid to do last year. You are ready to apply, start, speak, launch, and step forward, even if your knees shake. 6, your faith is becoming bold. When you are about to step into destiny, you stop praying small prayers. You start expecting miracles, asking for big things, and believing that God is not finished with you yet. You start seeing yourself the way heaven sees you: chosen, favored, and capable. 7, you experience divine connection. New people start showing up in your life. Mentors, encouragers, people who water your dream instead of killing it. They speak life over you and remind you who you really are. These are destiny helpers, and they don't show up by accident. You have an unshakable hope, even when things around you look broken. Something inside of you refuses to give up. That is hope, and hope is the soil where destiny grows. If you can hold on through the pain, what's on the other side will be worth every tear you cry. Ladies, this is not the season to sit back and watch life happen to you. This is the season to rise, to walk boldly toward the future that has been waiting for you. Destiny is not coming. Destiny is here. The question is, will you step into it? So get up, wipe your tears, lift your head, speak life over your situation. Take the first step even if you can't see the whole path. The doors that are meant for you are opening right now. Walk through them with faith, courage, and power. Your destiny is waiting. When destiny is about to knock on a woman's door, the first thing she notices is that the world around her starts feeling too small. The things that used to make her happy no longer satisfy her in the same way. The routines she once enjoyed now feel heavy, almost suffocating, as though she has outgrown them. This isn't because something is wrong with her, it's because something is right. Growth has begun on the inside, and it is pushing her to think bigger, dream deeper, and want more for her life. This is the stage where you find yourself asking questions you never asked before. You begin to look around and wonder, Is this all there is? Am I supposed to stay here forever? It can feel confusing at first because there's nothing necessarily wrong with where you are, but there's also nothing fully right about it anymore. It's as though the shoes you've been wearing all this time suddenly don't fit. This discomfort is not a punishment, but an invitation. It is destiny's way of waking you up and reminding you that you were not created to stay stuck in the same season forever. You are not meant to keep playing small just because it feels safe. You start losing the appetite for drama, for meaningless conversations, for things that waste your time and drain your energy. The woman who is about to step into destiny becomes very sensitive about where she invests her emotion. She realizes that she no longer has the time to keep entertaining things that don't help her grow. This might even mean pulling away from certain friendships or distancing herself from environments that keep her from becoming who she knows she can be. It may hurt to let go, but deep down she knows that her spirit is craving expansion. This is the season where new desires are birthed. You start craving peace, clarity, and purpose more than temporary excitement. You may find yourself reading books you never would have picked up before, listening to messages that challenge you, and seeking out people who inspire you instead of those who only keep you comfortable. Even your conversations change because what used to interest you no longer does. You hunger for depth. You want answers. You want to know why you are here and what you are supposed to do with the gifts you've been given. This inner stirring is a sign that you are being aligned with something greater. There can also be a sense of holy frustration during this time. You may find yourself irritated with the things that used to be enough. That job that used to feel secure may now feel like a cage. That relationship that was once comfortable may now feel shallow. You may feel like there's something bigger calling you, something that is pulling you beyond where you are right now. This is how destiny works. It makes the old season feel too small, so you'll be willing to step into the new one. And sometimes this transition feels lonely. People around you may not understand why you've changed. They may think you are acting differently. And in a way you are, because you are becoming who you were always meant to be. This season is not about going backward or shrinking to make other people comfortable. It's about recognizing that the uneasiness you feel is not a sign that you are lost, but a sign that you are about to be found. Not a sign that something is wrong with your life, but a sign that something greater is trying to emerge from within you. It is your spirit saying, I cannot stay here. I was made for more. When a woman is on the verge of stepping into her destiny, she often finds herself facing a level of opposition she has never experienced before. Everything seems to intensify all at once: the challenges, the criticism, the distractions, the spiritual battles. It can feel as though the moment she decides to rise higher, something comes along to try and pull her back down. This is not a coincidence. Opposition is often the clearest sign that something powerful is about to break open in your life. The enemy does not waste energy fighting someone who is not a threat. The moment you start aligning with your purpose, you become a threat to everything that tried to keep you bound, and that's when the pressure begins to rise. It might show up as sudden conflicts with people you thought would always support you. Friends may turn distant, coworkers may become critical, or family members might misunderstand you. It can be painful because these attacks often come from places you didn't expect. But this is where your discernment starts to sharpen. Destiny requires that you learn to stand firm even when you feel isolated. You begin to see that this opposition is not here to destroy you, but to develop you. It is a test of your perseverance, a refining fire meant to strengthen your faith and reveal what you are truly made of. Sometimes the opposition isn't external. It comes from within. Suddenly you are fighting doubts, fears, and insecurities you thought you had already dealt with. Old wounds try to resurface. Negative thoughts try to whisper that you're not good enough, not ready enough, not strong enough. This is where many women stop and retreat back into comfort zones because it feels easier than pressing through. But those inner battles are often the very thing that prepare you for the level of faith and courage you will need to handle the next season. You are being trained to silence the noise and trust the voice of God above everything else. In this season, everything seems to be magnified. Stakes feel higher, the pressure feels heavier, and the temptation to quit can feel overwhelming. But that pressure is shaping you. Just like gold has to go through fire before it shines, your character, your faith, and your resilience are being refined. You are being strengthened for the weight of the destiny you are about to carry. This is why some doors stay closed longer than you want them to. This is why some prayers take time to be answered. You are being built up on the inside so that when you step into what is meant for you, you will have the strength to sustain it. There will also be moments where you feel like everything is happening all at once. Setbacks, delays, unexpected challenges, and you may wonder if you are cursed or if you missed your opportunity. But this is where your vision must stay clear. You cannot let temporary storms convince you that the promise has been canceled. The truth is, storms are often the sign that you are on the right path. The enemy wants you to turn around because he knows what is waiting on the other side of your obedience. You may even notice spiritual warfare increasing. Your dreams may become more vivid. Your emotions may feel heavier. And you may feel like you are fighting battles no one can see. But this is also the moment when your spiritual authority begins to grow. You start realizing that you cannot fight these battles with your own strength. You are driven to prayer in a new way, to lean on divine strength like never before, and to anchor yourself in faith no matter how fierce the storm becomes. When a woman is approaching her destiny, one of the most powerful signs she will notice is the rise of a stronger, louder, and clearer voice within her. This voice does not shout from the outside, it stirs from the inside. It is a deep knowing that starts speaking even when no one else is saying anything. It is that inner whisper that tells you to move, to prepare, shift, to let go, or to step forward even when logic cannot explain why. It is not anxiety, it is not random noise. It is the compass of your spirit pointing you in the direction of your calling. This inner voice becomes harder to ignore the closer you get to the next chapter of your life. You may wake up in the middle of the night with thoughts you can't shake, ideas you can't ignore, or a sense that something is pulling you toward change. This is where discernment becomes critical. That inner voice often asks you to trust what you cannot yet see. You may not have all the details, but you feel a strong nudge that something must shift. You begin to sense that certain environments are no longer right for you, that certain opportunities may not be aligned with where you're headed, and that certain habits cannot follow you into your future. It can be uncomfortable because your mind may try to argue with what your spirit already knows. Your spirit may be saying, wait, while your mind is saying, go. Or your spirit may be saying, move forward, while your fear screams, stay where it's set. This is the wrestling season where you must learn to tune out the noise of fear, opinions, and doubt so you can fully hear the truth that is rising within you. You will also notice that this inner voice begins to guide you toward preparation. It might lead you to start writing down goals, cleaning up areas of your life, setting new boundaries, or developing disciplines you didn't have before. You might not even know why you are doing it, but something deep down tells you that you must get ready. It is almost as if destiny is telling you, I am coming, but I need you to be positioned. This positioning can feel inconvenient because it calls you to make sacrifices, to say no to things that seem harmless, and to commit to things that require effort and consistency. But that is because destiny always requires preparation. This inner voice also brings conviction. Things that you used to tolerate, you can no longer justify. The gossip that you once joined in now makes you uncomfortable. The distractions that used to steal your time now bother you. The excuses you used to use no longer satisfy you. This is a sign that your spirit is maturing and that you are aligning with a higher standard. You are no longer content with living at the level of mediocrity when you know greatness is calling you. It can also create moments of solitude. You may feel the need to spend more time alone, to think, to pray, to write, or simply to be quiet so you can hear yourself. This is because that inner voice is often clearest in stillness. The busier your mind and life become, the harder it is to hear it. So this season draws you towards stillness so that you can fully hear what heaven is speaking to your heart. When a woman is about to step into her destiny, she begins to feel a deep urge to let go of what no longer serves her future. This is one of the clearest signs that transformation is taking place within her. Suddenly, she starts to notice the weight of things she used to carry without even thinking about it. The friendships that drain her, the conversations that keep her small, the habits that steal her focus, the fears that hold her back, all of these begin to feel too heavy to carry any longer. There is an undeniable pull to release them, not because she no longer cares, but because she knows she can't take everything with her into her next chapter. This is a pruning season, and pruning is never comfortable, but it is always necessary. This letting go might come with tears because it means saying goodbye to people, places, and patterns that have been familiar for years. Sometimes it means walking away from a friendship that no longer inspires growth or ending a relationship that you know is keeping you from your purpose. It may also mean releasing an old version of yourself, the version that accepted less than she deserved, the version that tolerated disrespect, the version that played small so others could feel big. Destiny demands that you shed what is dead so you can make room for what is alive. Letting go is not just about people. It is also about releasing mental and emotional weight. Old regrets, shame, guilt, and resentment cannot go where you are going. They are too heavy, and they cloud your vision. This is the season where you start forgiving others, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to let bitterness poison your future. You start forgiving yourself, not because you want to erase the past, but because you are ready to move forward without change. This emotional release frees you to step into the future with a clear heart and a renewed mind. There is also a practical side to this release. You may feel led to declutter your space, clean out your home, get organized, and create room for new opportunities. This might seem like a small thing, but it is deeply symbolic. When you clear out the old, you signal that you are ready to receive the new. You are no longer holding on to what was because you are preparing for what will be. This process can feel lonely. When you start saying no to what drains you, you may find that some people will misunderstand you. They may call you distant or accuse you of changing. And the truth is, you are changing, but not in the way they think. You are evolving into the woman you were always meant to be. It is not about rejecting others. It is about protecting your peace and preserving your energy for the things that actually matter. This is also the season where boundaries become your best friend. You realize that not everyone deserves access to you. You stop over-explaining yourself, stop trying to please everyone, and stop sacrificing your well-being to keep others comfortable. You start choosing where you go, who you listen to, and what you give your time to with greater intention. This selective focus is what allows you to move lighter and faster toward the destiny that is waiting for you. When a woman is close to stepping into her destiny, something powerful begins to shift within her. She starts to find the courage to take risks she once thought were impossible. Fear may still be present, but it no longer has the same power over her decisions. What used to paralyze her now feels like a challenge she is willing to face. She understands that staying in her comfort zone will only keep her in the same place. and the thought of missing out on her future becomes scarier than the risk itself. This is the turning point where hesitation gives way to boldness, where she decides that even if she is afraid, she will move forward anyway. This risk-taking does not always start with something dramatic. It may begin with small acts of faith. Speaking up in a meeting when she used to stay silent, saying yes to an opportunity that intimidates her, or deciding to invest in a dream she has been putting off for years. Each of these small steps builds her confidence and strengthens her resolve. She starts to realize that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Every time she pushes past fear, her faith grows stronger and her vision becomes clearer. Taking risks often means walking into the unknown. And that can be uncomfortable. There may not be a guarantee of how things will turn out, but there is a deep inner pull that says, try anyway. This is when she begins to trust that if the desire was planted in her heart, then provision and guidance will meet her along the way. She may not know all the details, but she knows enough to take the next step. This trust becomes her anchor as she moves forward into new territory. Risk-taking is also about breaking free from the fear of failure. When a woman is about to step into destiny, she starts to see failure differently. Instead of viewing it as the end, she sees it as part of the process, as a teacher that prepares her for greater things. She learns to stop overthinking every decision and starts acting on faith, knowing that even if she falls, she will rise stronger. This mindset shift is powerful because it keeps her from being paralyzed by the fear of what could go wrong and allows her to focus on what could go right. There will be moments in this season where she feels like she is standing on the edge of a cliff, looking out into something that feels too big for her. But something inside says, jump. And when she jumps, she discovers that the very leap she feared is the leap that sets her free. She learns that destiny does not come to those who wait for perfect conditions. It comes to those who are willing to take imperfect action. This is the season where bravery becomes her new normal. She stops waiting for permission and starts giving herself permission. She stops waiting for everything to line up and starts moving with what she had. The more she steps out, the more doors begin to open, and the more she realizes that the risk was never really about what she might lose, but about what she was about to gain. When a woman is on the verge of stepping into her destiny, her faith begins to expand in ways she never imagined possible. It is as though her spiritual eyesight sharpens and she starts to see her life not just as it is, but as it could be. She no longer prays the same small, timid prayers she once did. Instead, she begins to ask for things that once felt too big, too impossible, too far out of reach. Her confidence in God grows, her trust deepens, and she begins to expect miracles where she used to expect disappointment. This growth of faith is not accidental, it is necessary because destiny requires a different level of belief than the place she has been living in. This is the season where she starts believing that she is worthy of good things happening to her. She stops talking herself out of blessings, stops assuming that the best is reserved for other people, and begins to believe that she too is chosen, favored, and loved. The doubts that once kept her from stepping forward begin to lose their power. Fear may still try to creep in, but it no longer dictates her decisions. Instead, she speaks words of faith over her situation and starts living with an expectation that something good is coming. This bold faith also changes the way she sees obstacles. Where she used to see walls, she now sees opportunities for God to show up. Where she used to panic, she now pauses and prays. She starts to realize that her struggles are not signs that she is forgotten, but signs that she is being strengthened. Her faith allows her to look beyond her present circumstances and hold on to the promise that there is something greater waiting ahead. Faith in this season also means acting differently. She no longer just talks about what she believes, she begins to walk it out. She takes steps toward the dreams in her heart, even if she doesn't have every detail figured out. She applies for the job, she starts the business, she writes the book, she makes the move. Each action is a declaration that she believes her future will meet her halfway. Her faith stops being passive and becomes active, and with every step she takes, her confidence grows stronger. This kind of faith often inspires others around her. People begin to notice her courage, her determination, and her unshakable belief that good things are possible. Her life becomes a testimony that faith is not just something you talk about, it is something you live. And this living faith begins to attract opportunities and connections that align with her destiny. Doors that were once closed begin to open. People who once doubted her begin to see her in a new light. This is also the season where she learns to trust the timing of her life. Faith teaches her that delays are not denials, and that closed doors are sometimes divine protection. She stops forcing what is not meant for her and begins to rest in the assurance that what is meant for her cannot be taken away. This kind of faith gives her peace even in the middle of uncertainty, because she knows that everything is working together for her good, even if she cannot yet see how. When a woman is about to step into her destiny, she begins to notice that new people start showing up in her life. People who seem to arrive at just the right time with the right words, the right encouragement, and the right support. These are what many call divine connections. They are not random encounters or coincidences. They are strategic alignments designed to help her grow, guide her steps, and push her closer to her purpose. Sometimes these people may come in the form of mentors who speak wisdom into her life, friends who remind her of her worth, or partners who encourage her to dream bigger and take action. They may not have known her for long, but the impact they make feels as if they were meant to be there all along. This season can feel almost miraculous because the very help she needed suddenly begins to appear. If she has been praying for guidance, someone might come along who has already walked the road she is about to take. She has been asking for clarity. A conversation might open her eyes to possibilities she never considered. These connections often bring answers that she didn't even know she was searching for. They challenge her, sharpen her, and inspire her to keep moving forward even when the road gets hard. At the same time, this is also the season where some old connections begin to fade away. Not everyone can go where she is going, and destiny often requires a shift in her circle. This does not always mean those people are bad. It simply means their part in her story has been completed. This can feel painful at first, but as soon as she releases what no longer fits, the right relationships begin to fill the empty space. These new connections speak life into her, not death. They water her dreams instead of doubting them. They remind her of her strength when she feels weak and push her to keep going when she wants to quit. These relationships are not just emotional support, they are often key to unlocking opportunities that she could not have accessed on her own. The right person can open a door with one conversation, provide a resource she needed, or simply give her the confidence to take the next step. They may not do the work for her, but they help create the environment where her gifts can flourish. Divine connections also play an important role in holding her accountable. When she starts to drift or lose focus, these people gently pull her back to her vision. They see the greatness in her even when she forgets, and they refuse to let her settle for less than what she is capable of. This accountability keeps her from falling back into old patterns and encourages her to stay consistent until she reaches her next level. It is also worth noting that these connections are not always comfortable. Some of them will challenge her, stretch her thinking, and push her beyond her limits. They may tell her hard truths or confront her with the areas she needs to grow in. But instead of resenting them, She begins to value them because she recognizes that they are helping her become the woman she was meant to be. These connections may be few in number, but their impact is lasting. They are sent to prepare her, protect her, and position her for the doors that are about to open in her life. When a woman is standing on the threshold of her destiny, one of the most powerful signs she will notice is that her hope becomes unshakable. Even when circumstances around her look dark, even when doors seem closed, even when delays stretch longer than she expected, there is a quiet determination inside her that refuses to let go. She may cry, she may get tired, she may feel the weight of waiting. But something deep within keeps whispering that this is not the end. It is as though a fire is lit inside her soul, a fire that no amount of disappointment can extinguish. That fire is hope, and it is the very thing that keeps her standing when everything around her tries to push her down. This kind of hope does not depend on what she sees with her eyes. It is anchored in what she believes in her spirit. She starts to live with the expectation that something good is coming, even if she doesn't know when or how. Each morning she wakes up and chooses to believe again. She refuses to let fear write the story of her life. This resilience is not something she was born with. It is something that has been built through every storm she has endured. Every heartbreak, every setback, every moment where she thought she would not make it has trained her to hope in something greater than her current circumstance. Unshakable hope gives her the strength to keep moving forward one step at a time. Even when progress feels slow, she chooses not to give up. She keeps preparing, keeps praying, keeps showing up because she knows that the waiting season is not wasted. It is shaping her, molding her, and making her stronger. This hope keeps her from becoming bitter while she waits. Instead of complaining, she begins to speak life. Instead of giving up, she begins to plan for the future, as if what she has been believing for is already on its way. This hope also changes the way she sees challenges. What once would have broken her now becomes fuel for her determination. She starts to see setbacks as setups for something greater. She stops allowing closed doors to discourage her and starts viewing them as redirection towards something better. Hope trains her eyes to look for lessons in every trial and opportunities in every difficulty. It gives her the courage to try again after failure, to trust again after betrayal, and to dream again after disappointment. Hope is contagious, and in this season she begins to inspire others without even trying. People look at her and wonder how she is still smiling, still believing, still pushing forward despite everything she has faced. They may not know the battle she has fought in private, but they can see the light she carries. This unshakable hope becomes a testimony that it is possible to keep going even when life gets hard. It becomes a source of strength not just for her, but for those who are watching her journey. There is also a deep peace that begins to accompany this hope. She is no longer constantly anxious about the future because she has learned to trust that the timing of her life is not random. She no longer panics when things do not go as planned because she knows that even detours can lead to destiny. This peace does not mean she never feels fear. It means fear no longer controls her. She has learned to wait with faith, to move with faith, and to rest with faith, trusting that what is meant for her will come at the right time and in the right way.